Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about how to make a video ad that works to advertise on Facebook, TikTok, even YouTube and the like. Specifically for a product. I'll be making a separate video as a follow-up or attachment to this to go over how to make a video ad specifically for a service that works. The reason why I make this video, I've made other videos in the past on how to come up with a script for a video ad that basically will always work. So this is not to say that that is incorrect, but there's something that works particularly well in today's environment, 2023 and beyond, specifically because of how people's tastes and behaviors have changed. That will put you way ahead of everybody else that hasn't caught on to this strategy yet, and probably won't catch on for a very long time, given it's not a natural way to think about how to make a video ad. I'm going to tell you how to make this video ad and what kind of results you can get from that kind of video ad for your company as well. So, I'm going to cover how to make the video ad, and then of course some extra tips, some bonus tips if you will, on how to get the most out of that as well. And then also furthermore where you can get examples of these video ads that will actually work. So you can literally just copy, carbon copy and paste the strategy itself, seeing not just for what I'm telling you here, but an actual real world example to your advertising accounts to start making some money. So with that said, and just to start out on the results part of this, by the way, everybody wants one ad that they could just use and they're going to make millions of dollars in their business selling their products that they're trying to sell. Or services, of course, if you're doing that. But because this is about products, I'll stick to just speaking about that. It is pretty hard to come up with just one ad that'll work. I talk about on this channel many times how the more time you put in on your campaigns, the more results you can get. Why? Because you can start to sub-segment who you're advertising to in your market. If somebody's been looking at one of your competitors' products, you can say why you're better than that competitor's product. If one of the people that that potentially might buy in your market have been looking at an alternate way to get what they want done, you could explain why your product is better than that particular way of getting that problem solved that your product solves for them. And so it's called, segmentation of your audience, and you ultimately will make more money the more you can segment because you're more relevant to the person who sees the video ad. However, if there is a way to make a video ad that will work for everybody and that you can use one ad that'll just blow up and make you millions of dollars, just that one video ad, just getting it right. This is the way, if it is going to work for your market, given that you have a good product and a not super saturated market, we'll say, this is going to be the way to do it, okay? That will work for selling pretty much anybody in your space, okay? And when you do that, just like everybody wants, they don't want to use investor funds. They want to be able to use advertising to scale their company, to bootstrap their company, if you will. This will bootstrap your company if you get it done right and you have the right product. Again, with not too saturated of a market and you're kind of a good solution at the time the market needs your product, this will scale your company from 0 to millions. One ad, just like all you guys are always asking me that you want to have to be able to launch your company, if you will. That doesn't take hundreds of hours of work cumulatively of building up an ad account, marketing to this person this way, this person this way. So with all that said, you can make $5 worth of return for every dollar you put into ads so that you can cover the cost of the product and still have profit left over. Take the profit, put it back into ad spend, and then spend a little bit more on your ads and then scale your company to millions of dollars. This is the strategy right here that'll do it. So with all that said, getting into the strategy itself, I have a quick prelude here to mention why this strategy works. Things have changed in terms of what works online now because of the TikTokification, as I call it, of the internet. People's attention spans have been, as I say, properly fried by TikTok. And of course, the other social networks are cloning it. YouTube's got shorts, and really they're just adapting to people's tastes. They want more content in less time, ultimately, is what it comes down to. And so your approach with your video advertising has to reflect that. Otherwise, you're going to pay the price in terms of your ad getting a lower return or just no return because it doesn't produce enough ROI to cover the cost of your delivering your product and so forth. So how you actually adapt to this. So again, marketing and advertising, it all just comes down to figuring out what your customer wants, giving it to them. Okay? You do that well enough, you'll make money. How do we give people more content in less time? Because that's what they ultimately want today. We found a repeatable pattern that you can use to follow this, to handle or do this, that works in almost any case for any product that is a hot selling product in the market. And respectively, if you don't have a product that's a hot selling product, it's easier just to find another product to sell, by the way, than it is to try to make that product sell that nobody wants. Because once you find a hot product to sell, this model will scale. And you could have all the sales you want. So again, it's better to just throw your whole company in the garbage can and find a new product that will sell if you can, than to try to sell a product that doesn't work, because the video ads have a repeatable pattern to be able to bring in repeating sales at a profit if you just find the right product to sell. So, and it doesn't have to be, a totally new invention. It just has to be something that, again, not too saturated and that people really find appealing. So with that said, here's the formula right here, getting down to it. So what you do is you take your product and you shoot video showing what the product is. So if it's a football, you start off the video, the first part of your video is just going to show off the football, like what it looks like, what it is. Then you're going to go into the second part of that video, which is going to demonstrate what it is. So what does a football do? Well, you can play football with it, obviously. So show people, playing football, throw in the football, whatever. And then then after that, you transition to the special features of that product. Maybe the football has a special texture on it that makes it easier to grip. You show that. Maybe that football is made of a special kind of leather. You show that. And so you show, and you don't have to go through every main selling point, but what's the top 3 main differentiators that makes that product different than any other product? And also is relevant to the customer still, because if it's different, not relevant to the customer, you might as well not even mention it. You're just going to end up hurting your conversions. So with that, that's the 1, 2, 3 formula that works. Now I put here, look like a customer directly underneath each one of these for a very good reason. What works on YouTube, particularly on any social media advertising that you do, which is basically if you're going to do video ads, that's where you're doing it, right? You'll get a much better response if a video ad looks like it's coming from another customer who's already bought your product. Why? Because people don't trust advertisements anymore. They don't trust companies that advertise online anymore, for the most part. And what they do trust is recommendations from other people online. So what you could do is you could disguise your video ad as a recommendation from one of your customers, if you frame it that way. So when you go ahead and you show what it is, it should not look like a high production value video. It should just look like somebody videotaping the football, going back to that example, with an iPhone or whatnot. When you go to demonstrate, throwing the footballs, people playing football, it's the same thing. Look like it was produced on an iPhone. And then the same thing with the special features. So when this is all said and done, even though it's an ad, and people could technically tell it's an ad if they check, or look into it, for the most part, their guard is going to be down as soon as your ad pops up for them, because it's going to look like what every other video basically looks like when somebody's sharing what they thought of a product they just bought itself, or like that they liked, if you will. So when they see the video right away, they're more likely to watch it because they know it's not just some marketing BS. But also, as you probably know, but if you don't know, when you're on Facebook, you're scrolling down your feed, just to talk about Facebook itself, your brain is trained to say, is this an ad or is this not an ad? Oh, it's an ad, fuck it. I'm not going to even pay attention to this for 1 second. I'm going to the next thing on my feed, because the feed doesn't have any limit as to how much content I have to go through on the feed. And so your goal as the advertiser is to trick the person that sees your ad to not immediately notice that it's an ad, so they'll actually pay attention to it, and you get through that initial filter for the customer. Because there's two things you always got to do, by the way, up front is A, you got to be able to catch their attention, and then B, you got to make it look like that you're not an ad. Because if you get their attention and they notice it's an ad right away, you're still going to get blown past. So if you could do those two things, now you actually have the chance to sell to them. And every time your ad shows up, you're paying a cost. Because the lower your click-through rate on your ad, the higher your cost per click is going to be. And if you don't get attention at a high enough rate, your ad will never pay for itself. So your goal is to get the attention and make them not think it's an ad. And then from there, you got a chance to actually make a sale. But just the fact that almost everybody seeing your ad is going to stop and look at it and pay attention to it because it's interesting and it doesn't look like an ad, that puts you in such a tier in your market all by yourself, because your competition's not going to be able to pull that off. And so instead of what your competition, when they run their ads, they get 1 out of 20 people to actually pay attention to their ads, you're going to get 1 out of 3 people to pay attention to your ad. That's all the difference it takes to make the ad profitable, okay, in most cases. So that's what you do as far as the video ad here, okay? Now, that said, going back to the TikTok thing, you got to make your content, if you want it to work really well, condense it down into a tight package. You're not going to show, the entire video of, the football being thrown. You're going to show a clip of it or a sped up version of it, which is why I put on these other points you need to know here. That you need to speed up the video that you've shot or heavily edit it, so 2 to 3 minutes of content becomes 30 seconds of content. And so normally we'll do both. We'll cut out, we'll shoot 30 seconds of some guy throwing the football or whatever, and then we'll use the best 5 seconds of it, the most entertaining 5 seconds of the 30 seconds. And then furthermore, we'll speed up the 5 seconds, so it's really 3 seconds of content. And then you slap that together with, so in other words, each segment here that you do, you're gonna videotape it, then you're gonna cut out just the most interesting parts, and then sandwich the most interesting parts together, and then on top of it, speed up the parts of the video, not maybe all of it, but certain parts, to make it even more engaging / entertaining, so the whole thing ends up looking like a high, a video ultimately on TikTok that would go viral. I highly encourage you to go look on TikTok on videos that go viral or on YouTube Shorts and see when they're demonstrating a product, what it actually looks like where it catches on and gets shared a lot. And more importantly, I didn't come up with this formula myself because it just was apparent to me after studying what other influencers are doing that have to sell products that they're reviewing to get affiliate commissions, how they're doing it to get people to click through their ads or get attention and then turn that into sales. So what you could do basically is you could do what I did there and go ahead and find an influencer on Facebook that just reviews products, and that's basically all they do. Look at how they review the product. They'll do almost exactly what I just told you here. Okay? So that they could, because in other words, they found they're masters at capturing attention by means of having to capture attention by using a product or with the product. And obviously they get to work without an interesting product or whatever, like I said at the beginning, but if you've got an interesting product, they're masters at capturing your attention. So when you see that video that reviews that product, you're really entertained all the way through it. It's as much about entertainment as it is about educating. So the best video ads do both. They educate while being entertainment. So go ahead and check out some influencers. But if they weren't very good, for the most part, I'm talking about the big ones, if they weren't very good at getting people to watch their videos all the way through, they wouldn't make many commissions through their affiliate link or through their brand. They get brand deals, they get paid to promote certain products. But if they were able to turn that attention on their follower list into sales for their brand, people that they're doing brand deals for, they wouldn't get any more brand deals. So all they do all day long is just think about how can I get somebody who sees my video to watch it all the way through, so that if they watch it all the way through, they have a 1% chance of buying, And then that same formula works perfectly for an ad. They see the video. The more people that you get to watch all the way through the video, the more chances you have to make a sale. Because if they don't watch all the video ad all the way through, the chances they're going to buy is basically almost zero. And what you'll find is on a cheaper product that's like $50 to $100, this video model here will get about 2-3% of the people to buy. That high of a rate. It's that effective. So these influencers are raking it in, and if they got a big follower list of 1 million people, and they do this formula, and 10% of the people see the video and then watch all the way through, and then 2% of those people buy, that's a lot of sales they're racking up on their reviews. So anyway, you do the speeding up / heavily editing it so it looks like more like an influencer that reviews products, what they're doing to be successful. And this is the other thing where people get screwed up and how things are different today. Normally when you would shoot these videos, you'd talk during the different parts, right? And then when you at least condensed and you edited down the content, the audio that was on each part would still be used. What I'm telling you here, that you don't do that at all. You record the video, you don't have to say anything on the video, okay? Don't worry about that part. You just need the visuals. And then when you cut and or speed up and condense down all the individual content you made to fit this formula, then you record the audio on top of that so that the audio matches the video. Given you can't have audio, especially when you're speeding up content that was originally on the video that you shot, if you will. So, and then specifically with that, the audio going back to the original things I was talking about here, it should sound like it's coming from a customer, and it's basically just a customer review. Again, going back to the influencers. The influencers, it sounds like a friend reviewing that product, which is why they're able to get people to see their reviews and buy their products. So you do the same exact thing as them. It should be like, hey, check out this new football I bought. It's really good for throwing and playing, and it actually, I really like this football because it has really good, artificial leather. It's better than other leathers on other footballs I bought before. You can really throw it a long ways, and it should just talk like a natural person would talk. It's not high production value. If it is high production value, people will see it as an ad and they'll X out of it. So you add the audio on top of the video once you get it all edited down. And then the final thing to tie all this together is you share it by means of a customer as well. So all of this wouldn't work nearly as well as if your video ad was from a mega corporation being, because it would be obvious it wasn't an individual person reviewing the product. It should feel like a review of your product. So what you do is you go set up a fan page on Facebook of a random person or customer, and then you advertise this video on behalf of this so-called person or customer, so that when you're scrolling down the Facebook news feed, you see this video. It's a video ad, but you see this video. If you look in the upper left to see who shared it, it's like John Smith or Mary Smith, not XYZ Corp. Because then that gives away that it's not a friendly, independent product review. Obviously, you could still see it as sponsored, but it's as little as people as possible will now know it's from your company and it's a corporate ad or a corporate video being shown to them, and because every person that sees it's coming from a company will reduce your ROI. So that reduces the ROI cut that you'll have by people knowing it came from a company to as little of percentage as possible. So that's what you do. And of course, on this could apply for any other place you do the video ad. On YouTube, you could do the video ad on behalf of John Smith's YouTube channel. If you wanted to go the extra mile with this, by the way, you go out and you make John Smith's YouTube channel, you post like 15 funny cat videos, and then you advertise on behalf of John Smith, so that if during the video ad they go to check out John Smith, who the hell this is, it looks like a legit account. Okay? So anyway, that's the main formula overall in a nutshell that will get you this 5-to-1 return on your ad spend, or 500% ROAS, if you were able to do it for the right product that actually looks interesting, is interesting. It ain't going to polish a turd, but if you got something that'll sell, this will sell the shit out of it. Or at least right now, and I'm sure eventually there'll be a new version of this in 5 years from now, where you got to be even more interesting and engaging, because it's even more, people's time is even more competitive to get, or their attention is more competitive to get. But for now, this is way ahead of the curve. So anyway, and for that matter, I can't think of a way to make your content more engaging than this anyway. They've pretty much condensed down the content to, and you know, one thing you notice about this TikTok content as well, the reason why it does well, again, is because, and going along with everything I share with you, you're not looking at anything for any long period of time. See, look at this football, and you're seeing that for 2 or 3 seconds, and then it goes on to the next thing in it already. It's fast-paced, if you will. I don't know how you would make it any more fast-paced than what I showed you, but maybe somebody will figure out a way to be even more interesting and less boring, if you will. So with that said, though, I'll wrap it up with that. That's the formula I wanted to share with you here today. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing, as I have a lot of other content on this channel on how to make money with PPC ads, online advertising in general. It's the best information you're going to find on YouTube about making money with ads, given I manage dozens of ad accounts directly for my clients on an ongoing basis. Most of the people on YouTube are professional YouTubers and talking out their butts. They don't actually do ad management like I do 40 hours a week for clients. So therefore, you should subscribe, and it helps to have a broad, a breadth of different accounts where I get to see on different accounts, different markets, what's working, what's not working. And I give you all the stuff that's working on this channel. If you like this channel, you also like my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, as well as I write a column at entrepreneur.com, the online version of Entrepreneur magazine. So you can seek me out there as well if you like written content from myself. Beyond that, if you have any questions about anything I covered here today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. If you're looking for somebody that's the best person that can help you get results on your account that you can find, reach out to my firm. I'd like to look over and see if we, your stuff, and see if we can work together. I don't work with just any client, but if you got a great product or service that you're trying to sell, I'd love to be able to see if we can work together on a contingency basis where we'll take our fees once you start making more profit in your company. So with that said, maybe we can work together, or maybe we're not, or we can't, but at least I'll look at your stuff and see if we can. And if we can work together, or it looks like it's possible, I'll get you a projection of results I can get for your account. And if you're not looking for an ad manager to kind of take over your account, also, by the way, we have templates that work in a number of different markets. So if we got the results in your market already, it'd be idiotic to try to spend all the time to do all the work to find out what works in your market, when you could simply copy and paste the templates that we have that work for your market already. Campaign templates, landing page templates as well that go along with it. And we could tell you what results we can get in your market, because we've already got those results with those templates before. So if you want to see if we've worked in your market before and have templates available for you, reach out to me and I'll let you know what we have and what results we can get with those templates. So though, with that said, I'll pretty much wrap it up with that. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching. See you on the next one.